drive to right field. This ball is gone! Gone and into the history books.
The Seattle Mariners, Felix Hernandez, the 2-2. He got it! 34 years, 119 games. It's finally happened. A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
And the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edgar Martinez. Swung on the line down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my. And they are going crazy at the Kingdom.
Welcome to the Corner of Edgar and Dave, your Seattle Mariners baseball fan podcast. I'm Jacob, here with my brother Nick.
Hello.
And we're back for another week. It is almost, Nick, it is currently the evening of March 30th, meaning we are less than 48 hours. Really, we're less than 68 hours away from Mariners baseball.
I know, it's pretty fucking hype, right?
Did it kind of sneak up on you? I don't know. I feel like the month of March and spring training went by maybe the fastest spring training has ever gone by.
Dude, it honestly fucking did. This whole March just went... Dude, this whole fucking year so far has gone by super fast. I literally, woke up this morning and was like, oh my god, it's the 30th. And I was like, oh my god, it's the 30th. And I needed to get Jaden a birthday present. And I did. And I sent it to him.
We have a really good one. We got a really good one. We just haven't sent it yet, even though his birthday was 3 days ago.
No, it's fucking today.
No, it's the 27th, isn't it?
Oh, it might be. I don't remember. I don't know. I told him happy birthday today.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I usually check with Kristen's Facebook. At least we know the month, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not totally good at birthdays. I'm really trying my best here, but they're so fucking hard.
Oh, rough. Dude, I was telling you.
Who's got time for birthdays and shit?
I was telling you a little bit earlier that this last 2 weeks, especially this last week, but really over the last couple weeks, Gabby and I have been on the world's biggest Lord of the Rings kick. She had never seen them before, and so I was like, oh, we have to watch all of them. And we watched all three of the first ones, and then we watched all three of the Hobbit movies. And after that, I realized I thought the whole time that these movies that I own, that I bought on Vudu back when I was in law school, were the extended cuts of the Lord of the Rings, and turns out that despite the fact that they were 3 hours long each, they were not the extended cuts. The extended cuts are 4 hours long, so now I bought the extended cuts, and we're starting it back up all over again. And then also I've gone down deep on the rabbit hole of Lord of the Rings. I found this YouTube site called Nerd of the Rings, where he basically breaks down everything Lord of the Rings wise, especially all the pre-Lord of the Rings stuff and different stuff that happens in different ages, and now I'm a huge deep into the history of Lord of the Rings, this fictional world. And honestly, the thing that blew my mind the biggest was the fact that Middle Earth is called Middle Earth because it's literally just the middle of the Earth. I don't know what I ever thought it was before, but no, it's just land-wise, it's situated in the middle of Earth. Of their Earth, Arda, and that's why it's called Middle Earth. Yeah. It actually kind of ticks Gabby off because the Earth is called Arda, but they call the middle of Arda Middle Earth, and that frustrates Gabby a lot.
That's really funny because I've always thought it was Middle Earth because it's Middle Age,
yes,
medieval.
Exactly, medieval, Middle Ages. No, it's the middle of Earth because it's literally in the middle of Earth, and when the elves take the boat. Spoiler alert, all the elves that leave, they're literally just going to a different part of the planet. They're not dying or anything. They're literally just leaving. Yeah. They're leaving Middle Earth, but it just means that they're going across the ocean to a different place.
Yeah, I have a kind of a funny story about that specific thing because I always tell my buddies that when we were watching it. So I just recently got all of the extended version of Lord of the Rings. And I watched them with my buddies because Manny didn't want to watch them again. And so I was we're talking about it as we go, and they're like, where are the elves going to? And I'm like, oh, well, they're sailing across the sea to live in the kind of the Americas, the New World, a different continent. And then one of the other people's like, no, they're not. They're just sailing up into the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about?
It's actually like the old world. They're actually going back to the old world. Like it's where all the people that created this Earth, like that formed it and everything, where all of them live. It's not
it's like the elf world. I know.
Kind of.
Like I'll be honest with you. I'm not fucking super into the lore of Lord of the Rings.
That's the problem. Is I've deep dived on this. I've been fucking deep diving.
I know there's fucking something over there. Like my buddy's like, no, they're just sailing to the end of the world, and I'm like, why would they do that? Why would they do that?
Yeah, so I've next week on our Lord of the Rings podcast, we actually that would be scary because we probably actually know less about Lord of the Rings than we do about baseball, and that's saying something.
Yeah,
maybe we should start a podcast. I don't know.
I mean, we can just bring on like Lord of the Rings experts. Like
explain it to us like I'm a moron.
Username Carl Loves Lotor from the Lord of the Rings subreddit here with us today.
Explain it to me like I'm an absolute moron. Not like I'm 5, like I'm actually stupid.
Explain it like I think the Mariners are good.
Yeah, but that's pretty much been my life the last like has been watching Lord of the Rings YouTube videos.
Good, man. Honestly, like I love getting it. I absolutely love it when I can like really get into like a series like that.
Yeah.
Because as you know, like I think about a year ago, I watched all the movies and I was like, oh my god, these are so good. And then I listened to all of the books on Audible.
Oh, you listened to them? Cool.
Yeah, and I fucking loved them.
Nice.
And so I was for a little bit super fucking into like the Lord of the Rings lore.
Yeah.
I was like playing some of the games and I was like trying to find them all.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's not my life anymore. That was 2020, Nick.
I do have a question for you because this is what Gabby and I were doing today. We were like asking each other like kind of, not exactly like who would you rather type thing, like would you rather whatever, but we were basically like saying like, who was more handsome or who would you rather hang out with, stuff like that. But the big fight not a fight, but the big argument we had, who is more handsome, Orlando Bloom or Viggo Mortensen?
Definitely Viggo.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I actually I was watching a series again with my buddies, and I'm like, wow, as a kid I was a Legolas stan, but now I'm fucking Team Aragorn.
Yeah.
I just want everything good to happen for him.
Yeah, movie Aragorn is awesome. I question book Aragorn from what really is he awesome? I question from what I've read, and what I've heard and watched. I question book Aragorn, but like movie Aragorn is top notch.
What do you question about book Aragorn?
Oh, just from what I've heard that he's a little. It sounds like in the book Aragorn is a little bit more like obsessed with his like lineage and talks about being like the king and stuff like that. And is that wrong? I mean, maybe that's just literally from what I've heard other people say, is that like book Aragorn like carries around the sword and like talks about how he's king and stuff like that, whereas like movie Aragorn is a lot more like reserved and humble. And I like.
It's not like him being an asshole. It's more like him like it's his destiny, and he knows it's his destiny to do that, and he wants to redeem his like family, and like he wants to redeem Gondor.
Okay.
Because of like Isildur's bane and everything, right?
Right. I guess I just like movie Aragorn. I like the like reluctant hero of movie Aragorn.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Honestly, the Peter Jackson series is like fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I will say that after reading the book though, I'm like why do Legolas and Gimli like almost even like have such big parts? Like they're barely in the books.
Yeah.
They literally over the course of 3 books they have like I don't know 25 lines maybe.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, they're non-existent characters.
Dude, that might be the way to go, is to like listen to the books. I own them. I've owned them forever. Literally all I've been able to do, I made it through halfway through The Hobbit like 3 times.
Dude, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Hobbit was the best by far. And
really?
By far. At least for me. And like the Fellowship was also amazing, and then like Two Towers and Return of the King were kind of a little sleeper, but I mean I enjoyed them a little bit. They're fun. They're not bad.
Okay. Gabby and I definitely had where we agreed on this one. that like Frodo, like we respect Frodo, but Frodo is kind of lame and Bilbo is awesome. Like
Yeah.
Bilbo is freaking awesome. Might be the best character. Like
Yeah.
Hobbit Bilbo is awesome.
Dude,
Love
he's
Hobbit
like even
Bilbo.
better in the books. He's amazing. I love Bilbo. He's such a fucking. He's like the carry of like the book. He's honestly the carry of the fucking series because he like shows up in obviously Lord of the Rings at the beginning, right? And you're just like yeah, fuck yeah, Bilbo, and then he goes away, and you're like, oh no, 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 I want to follow Bilbo.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've spent 10 minutes on our Lord of the Rings portion of the podcast. So awesome. Now we'll actually move in to talk about Mariners baseball. We're going to cover two things in this episode. Yeah, we have to move on because we have our most daunting task that we will be covering in the back half of this podcast. We will be doing our tier list of all the Mariners players on the 40-man roster, plus a few select top prospects. And that usually takes us a long time. We go deep. We go deep on every single player. You're going to enjoy this podcast. We're going to go deep, as we do 3 times a year, beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year. It is now time for the preseason all-player tier list for the Mariners. We're going to get deep on that, ranking them S through D tier. I'm super excited, but the first thing we got to get to, Nick, is we need to cover our last 2 episodes of the Dorktown Mariners docu-series. The 5th episode covered the 2000s Mariners, what they essentially called the kind of like the Ichiro episode, the Age of Ichiro.
Yep.
And then the 6th episode covered the 2010 Mariners, essentially Felix's Mariners, and the disaster that the 2010s kind of were. Even though I feel like, especially for you and I, like that's the Mariners that we fell in love with. So it was kind of like an interesting dichotomy there. Like we were always fans of the Mariners, but I think we were always fans of the Mariners, but we didn't fall in love with the Mariners until the 2010s. So.
Looking back at it, I watched that series, and I remember watching like the part 4 and part 5, and I was like, yeah, this is the part that I know. And then I'm like, wait, I really missed out on watching like these really good Mariners teams. Like they suck from here.
Yeah, except for 2001. I think honestly, I was kind of surprised how little they dedicated in the Ichiro episode to talking about the 2001 Mariners. I kind of thought that the 2001 Mariners were going to be like most of the video. They like barely covered them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they kind of go into each year, and they kind of have like a storyline for each year. So I can understand why they didn't just want to be like, here's 40 minutes of 2001, and then 5 minutes of the other 9 years.
Yeah, but they did 40 minutes on 95, right?
Yeah, but like 95 is really the only interesting year from like for like the beginning half of that decade, right?
Yeah, and the 95 series does have like all the drama, and it obviously made for a great episode. I would say still probably my favorite episode of all 6 was the 95 ALDS episode. So,
and if I can defend that a little bit more, it's just like that is literally like one of the most defining moments in Seattle, in the Seattle Mariners organization history, right?
Right. I thought it was interesting to them that essentially the 2001 Mariners were kind of like, 116 wins. That's a nice footnote. Let's talk about all this other crap.
Yeah.
And talk about Brett Boone and talk about all those other guys. I thought it was fun.
I actually feel like I watched that episode, and I feel like I remember them almost not talking about Brett Boone. They're like,
oh no, they definitely talked about him. They talked about all the guys. They talked about kind of how everyone was replaced, how like Buhner had aged out, and all the other guys had kind of aged out. But they talked about like Freddie Garcia. They talked about Brett Boone, Ichiro, obviously, Mike Cameron. They talked about kind of all those guys that kind of
I guess that's right.
Fit into 2001. I mean, they gave respect to 2001. I was kind of anticipating, because when I think of like the great year, first Mariners great year that I remember, I think of like 2001, and so I was kind of expecting like almost a full episode. 2001.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I was 9 then, and I think that's like the first time I really, really, really remember the Mariners.
Dude, I honestly feel like I fucking missed out on that, because obviously I was only like 5 at the time. So I'm like, I'm like, what? Oh yeah, the Mariners doing pretty good this year, right? Fuck if I care.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I was just kind of surprised there. Also, the most shocking thing probably did at the episode, and it took me them saying it probably about like 5 times, but they kept calling the 2000s the aughts. I don't know if you caught on to that. They kept saying, because like they'd be like, oh, the 90s, the 80s, and they kept calling the 2000s, saying the 2000s, they kept calling it the aughts. And apparently the aughts is like the abbreviation for the year 2000.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know if you caught on to it, but it took me like, I was like really shocked when they kept saying that. And I was like, that sounds like a made up word. What are they talking about? And it turned out that that's like the slang, right, for it. Like you say the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s aren't the 2000s. You could say the aughts. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, I've never heard that. So I don't know.
Yeah. So that was cool. I mean, I would say Ichiro is probably my 3rd favorite Mariner. I feel like that's just like so rude.
Yeah, it's so disrespectful.
That's so rude, right? But I just like, I love Griffey, and then obviously like Felix is just my favorite athlete of all time. So it's like,
yeah, dude. You know what? This is a good time for me to bring this up. So we've talked about episode 6 a little bit, kind of being like the Felix episode, right?
yeah,
So I have recently noticed this trend on the Mariners subreddit that like, I don't know what the fuck it is, but like the Mariners subreddit is completely repressed their like positive feelings for Felix, and it's like
Really?
they only remember like the last like 2 or 3 years he was with the team, and they're all like, "Fuck Felix, he's terrible. Who cares? Like whatever."
I mean,
But
here's
I
the
don't
one thing. The one thing I get, I will say this: they're wrong.
They're wrong.
They're wrong.
Yeah,
But the one thing I do get about that
so fucked.
is that Felix kind of just like fell off the face of the earth, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that, like, literally the thing that they said in the series that shook me the most was they're like, Felix was on a Hall of Fame career path, but he's likely not going to make the Hall of Fame. I about threw a chair through a TV when they said that. And then like, I kind of like, I tried to like sit back and be like, okay, yeah, but he was obviously here for a long time, and he had a great long career, and it's not even over yet.
He's a Mariner Hall of Famer.
How is Felix? My brain cannot process it. I'm literally trying. I paused. When they said that, I paused the video, and I was like, "Am I gonna stop watching here?" And I was like, "No." I gotta finish. But you're gonna disrespect my boy like that? Okay, you gotta explain it to me. And as they kind of like went through, especially Felix's decline, like I get it. To me, Felix is an automatic Hall of Famer, the best pitcher I've ever seen pitch in my life.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of guys pitch. I've been to a lot of baseball games, been to a lot of stadiums.
But like, you got to remember that you've probably seen about 100 more Felix games than probably most people, right?
That's fair. I think I've pretty much seen every Felix game.
Exactly, and it's not just Felix. It was like Felix in his prime, Felix in his no-hitter, Felix in like all of the great Felix years, right?
I mean, to me, I think if Felix is not a Hall of Famer, it's because they're putting too much emphasis on these stats that aren't like reflective of Felix, like these career marks. Because the reality is like, he didn't get wins, but they went through that. He's the most screwed pitcher of all time. His offenses never did anything for him, but he's literally, to me, there was no one more dominant, especially in the early 2010s. Like, Felix is far and away the best pitcher. How can you be the best pitcher in Major League Baseball half a day and not be a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I don't know.
How?
I think
he has a Cy Young. He was robbed of another Cy Young. He literally is the definition. Felix is a walking quality start. For a couple years there, he was a walking super quality start. He went 7 innings and less than 2 runs earned. A ridiculous stretch. Like, it's just the most offensive thing to me. It's the idea that like Felix is not going to be in the Hall of Fame. The idea that I'm not going to get to go and watch Felix's Hall of Fame speech in Cooperstown is disgusting to me. I really hope that they're wrong. I hope that they're wrong, and I hope that Felix is seen as a Hall of Famer when the time comes.
I mean, it's just that stupid like baseball argument right now that's like, well, what do we judge a Hall of Famer as? Someone with a long career who hit these milestones, or like a dude who was a Omega superstar at their peak, right?
I mean,
I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's guys that are super omega superstars at their peak.
I think there's room for both. I think there should be room for both. You can,
absolutely.
Like they talk about Oscars, right? They talk about some people, like when people haven't gotten their Oscars for a long time and they finally get their Oscar, like Leo or Meryl Streep, they call it like a career Oscar, where it's more like they're not necessarily awarding them the best actress or actor for this movie, but it's for their whole body of work, right? It's not like this movie isn't their best movie, but it's their whole body of work. I think there should be room for both in the Hall of Fame. I think a guy that dominated, the guy that was far and away that, like, I think in my mind unanimously is the best pitcher for 5 years. If he's not a Hall of Famer, I don't know who is. It shouldn't matter that he wasn't dominant for 10 years. It should only matter that he was the best pitcher for 5.
Dude,
best pitcher in baseball.
Like I keep saying it, I completely agree with you. It's just one of those like stupid like foot in the sand. No, I believe this, so I won't believe anything else from. Like,
it's just disgusting. I mean, I could see how those scumbag baseball writers are gonna screw Felix.
Yep.
But I can see it happening, but I'm gonna be disgusted when it does. I just hope that there's enough, and I think hopefully it might help if like the Mariners are like successful down the road, in a few years here, if they can kind of like build some sort of like successful, not necessarily dynasty, but like a legacy of success. So it's like his successes at that, during a dark time of the Mariners are seen in a better light. But like, if Felix isn't a Hall of Famer, I think it's wrong. I just think it's just objectively wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if either way, it's going to be really disappointing. Or if he's not, it's really disappointing for basically, obviously, for Felix and like the entire Mariners fan base.
It's just an insult. Oh,
Other than those losers down there at the Mariners subreddit, yeah, fuck you guys and your fucking Felix hate.
I don't get it. I mean, if Felix fell off and his career didn't last long enough for you, let me tell you right now, he pitched so many innings and threw so many hard pitches, and he went from being a super hard fastball pitcher throwing top end 90s to all of a sudden his changeup became his best pitch when he lost his fastball. And then when the changeup wasn't working anymore, his slider or his curveball became his best pitch. Like, Felix adapted. The reason Felix was dominant for 5 years wasn't because his fastball was 97 for 5 years in a row. It's because he adapted. He literally threw a perfect game on his changeup, on the on the back of his changeup. He threw that perfect game. So it's like, I think if you're a pitcher like Felix and you throw a perfect game, I don't know how you're not in the Hall of Fame. Like, Felix didn't luck into a perfect game. Like, if you think of some guys that have kind of like lucked into perfect games, like I think of the guy. Who was the guy for the White Sox that threw a perfect game against us? Like, obviously he was great on that day, but that's literally his far and away his best start, and has never done anything else besides from that.
I don't know.
I forget what his name was. I forget the guy who threw a perfect game for the White Sox was against the Mariners.
You're talking about the one? Oh yeah, I don't know. Against the Mariners, I don't know.
White Sox.
I can only think
not
of
Burley. Philip Humber. Philip Humber. It was Philip Humber who threw a perfect game against us, or like a guy like Dallas Braden. Like, I like Dallas Braden. He's pretty funny on his podcast, his baseball podcast on Barstool Sports. But like, Dallas Braden's not a great pitcher, but on one day he threw a perfect game. Dallas Braden's not a Hall of Famer. Felix had 5 years of dominance. Smashed in the middle of that was a perfect game. Like, I don't know. Felix's perfect game is just part of his great career. It's not an outlier. It's not. I don't know. I mean, like, no slander on those guys, but I think they'd also be the first people to tell you that they're not Felix Hernandez, and they'd probably also both say that Felix Hernandez should be a Hall of Famer.
There's kind of something to be said about him having the most recent last hitter for over 10 years. Like, obviously, a no hitter in baseball is just something that like is really hard, and for it to not happen in 10 years shows that, like, in this era, it's as hard as ever, or it's harder than ever to throw one, right?
Yeah, Felix has the last perfect game. It's like, yeah. Have I been saying no hitter? That's dumb.
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. That was a little bit of slander. I don't know. Those are the two things I kind of took away from these two episodes. They were super fun to watch. I mean, I think it was a little bit more interesting in that they were kind of like the 2 decades of the Mariners that I really remember really well. One thing I was actually really surprised about is how bad the clubhouse culture was when Ichiro was here in the 2000s. Like, apparently, like, people didn't like Ichiro. Like, there was like kind of fights and arguments, and like Ichiro was kind of like really like, what's the word for it? Like he was like kind of reclusive and an outcast, and like honestly, I was kind of surprised by that. I did not know that was part of the Mariners' history. Was like,
yeah, me neither. Especially like I remember
like really bad clubhouse
those,
culture.
I mean, I remember watching those games, and I never would have got that like from like what I was seeing. But I did really like the whole like Ichiro's a huge Griffey fan. And so when Griffey came back, those two just became best friends. And I
do appreciate that. Like Griffey kind of got to like he didn't get to save the Mariners with his bat. He came back to save the Mariners like with his heart.
His attitude. Yeah, his heart.
he taught the Mariners how to love again.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. Griffey's amazing. I love Ichiro. I think it's like almost slanderous to be like Ichiro is the third best Mariner, which is like what I said to start this off. But like,
I think you said third favorite. I don't know if you said third best.
You don't think he's even the third best?
I don't know, man. I mean, so you call him...
He's the greatest base hitter I will argue this, and I had this argument so many times in law school with other people. Ichiro is the best hitter of all time.
Yes, of course. Everybody knows that. And everyone who doesn't know that is just some sort of like Pete Rose dick
yes,
sucker.
That's it. I hate Pete Rose.
Get over it. I hate Pete
Rose.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck Pete Rose. Fuck everyone who doesn't think Ichiro's the MLB hitter.
Yeah, Ichiro's the best hitter, especially the best base hitter. But Ichiro, for my money, is just the best hitter of all time.
It's even better for me that like he was like, no, I don't want to hit home runs. I just want to hit fucking singles and like get the hit king. And he fucking did. I don't know if you've seen Ichiro hit a home run. The dude fucking jacks balls like.
Well, that's what like there's like stories, right, that he would just hammer home runs in batting practice, and then he'd get into the game. He'd get into the game and just do like little like, slapstick hits. I don't know. I love it. I love that it makes people mad too.
Yeah, me too.
I love that Ichiro makes people mad.
Oh, me too. I mean, you were talking about you said Ichiro's your third favorite Mariner. He's my second for me, and maybe this is like really underrating.
Behind who?
Edgar. But for me, it's Griffey, Ichiro, Felix, Edgar, and then probably Dan Wilson is my top five.
No Randy Johnson?
Oh, I don't know, man. I love Dan.
That's fine. You can put Dan. I'm fine with that. That's fine. You can do that. I was just wondering if you forgot.
I did kind of forget. I mean, I put him at 6.
No, don't admit that you forgot. Stick to your guns, god dang it. Stick to your guns. No. I didn't forget. I said it on purpose. You heard it here first. Randy's behind Dan.
No, yeah, fuck Randy. He didn't go into the Hall with the Mariners. What a fucking loser.
Of course he didn't go in the Hall with the Mariners. He won the World Series and won 2 Cy Youngs with the Diamondbacks.
No,
what do you mean?
Where's your fucking loyalty? And I also heard that Randy Johnson hated his time with the Mariners. So fuck that guy.
I think he just felt disrespected, right? And I think they kind of covered that a little bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like
because the Mariners put all their eggs in the Griffey basket, and then Griffey left.
Yeah, and then Griffey was like, I don't want to fucking play here.
Oh my gosh, the most tragic thing I saw was when they were talking about how like after a rough game, Griffey just like got in his car and just started driving. He just drove straight to Florida. Dude,
that was a heartbreaker.
Depressing. And also, I did not realize, I didn't know exactly when this series was made, but I didn't realize that they were going to make me cry again by showing me Felix's last game at Safeco. I didn't realize that they made this series after that happened. I didn't realize that they were going to like they were going to hit me with Felix's last game at Safeco again. Like, that's messed up. I didn't know they were going to try and hurt my feelings. I don't know if I appreciate that.
Honestly, the tearjerker moment for me was the Griffey thing as well, because he's talking about like going like 0 for 4 or maybe even 0 for 5 or 0 for 6 or something, right? And he's like, "Fuck, I hate Seattle," and he just gets in his car and drives and never comes back. It's just so fucking depressing, dude.
Yeah, I mean, to me though, that I would say it's kind of like my wrap up on the series. Like, I don't think either of them are like big Mariners fans. They obviously like know the history. They did their research. You know, one of them went to school at UW. Bleh.
Yep.
But I appreciate that they like tapped into what being a Mariners fan is all about. And it's not necessary. Like, they said it best. Like, we want to win. I want to win a World Series so bad. I want to win a World Series. as much as I want Gonzaga to win a national championship. And even today, like we're talking here, Gonzaga just made their second Final Four in school history, and even that like got me teary-eyed. And then thinking about winning a national championship got me teary-eyed. Like it's the same thing as like when I think of the Mariners winning a World Series, it gets me teary-eyed. But I appreciate that like they understand that Mariners baseball fandom is not about winning. It's about like the personal pursuits and like falling in love with the players no matter how bad this team is going to be. And I think you can see that especially today. If they did a follow-up video, if they did some sort of like 7th episode on the 2020 Mariners so far, like the 2019 to 2020 Mariners, like I think you'd still see that. We don't have any guys that are obviously shooting for these like great personal heights like Felix and Ichiro and Griffey.
But we love all these guys.
But goddamn, if we don't have the most lovable group of 40 guys out there, or 25, 26 guys, like I appreciate that. Like they got that right. They got the fact that like Mariners fans understand that we suck and even if we have a chance at winning, it's not going to be for a long time, and we're going to have to like try and sneak ourselves in there essentially, right, to winning a World Series, and it's going to be through a very small window. But it's not going to matter because it's all about like how much we love these guys, and love watching them play and love their personalities. And I appreciate that these guys got that. That's kind of like my final thought. I don't know if you have anything else about the Dorktown series, but that's kind of my final thoughts is like, I appreciate that despite not being Mariners fans, like these guys got why we love the Mariners.
Yeah, it's actually, they brought up the whole like personal pursuits thing, right? And it's something I've never really thought about until I watched that series. But I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't really give a shit about like the World Series winner. But when somebody tells me that like, when I hear that Kalu's the Rookie of the Year, I go fucking ecstatic like we just won a fucking World Series.
Yeah.
So I do actually probably care about like the personal pursuits of all these players more than I care about like a World Series like team win, right?
Yeah, I think for me in the end, like I want all of our players because, and part of it is because I like them so much. They all seem like great people. Like I want them to be personally successful and professionally successful, and ideally, the postseason accolades will just come from that, right? Like if Marco is finally recognized for being a great pitcher, it's because he showed everyone how good he is and carried this team on his back every 5 days, right? Or, you know, Kalu is hitting home runs and is just hitting them at a torrid pace, or Ty France is hitting like 420 or something like that, like halfway through the season. Like, hopefully, I'm more excited for that, but hopefully those personal successes like naturally translate into Mariners wins and a pursuit of a World Series, right? But I do hope that it doesn't come like any sort of postseason success doesn't come at, you know, being good old boy teammates and not really caring about their own personal stuff, because I think part of being a Mariners fan is like latching on to these little personal triumphs that each of the players go for, you know, year after year. Yeah.
I don't really have anything more to say. I'm about my wit.
Okay, that sounds good. I think that's a nice. I mean, overall, like, obviously a great series. Like, I'm kind of disappointed that it took me so long to watch all 6 episodes of that, because, I mean, I think more than anything I've ever seen from any fan base, like, they did Mariners fans justice, and I love that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, let's move on to our tier list, because obviously, as usual, this is going to take a damn good amount of time.
Sure is, huh?
So, let's see here. If you are watching this podcast, and you might be surprised to learn that you can watch this podcast. I do upload these all to YouTube. And if you want to see us, visually do this tier list, you can do so by going to, I think it's Corner of Edgar and Dave Podcast on YouTube. You'll be able to see this tier list that we are making.
Really? Wow, that's so crazy. I'm going to go there and subscribe right now.
You didn't know that I have a YouTube channel for us where I upload the podcast?
You told me, but I don't think you ever told me the name, but I guess I should have known it, right?
It's the Corner of Edgar and Dave Podcast. We're on the YouTube. The YouTube. All right.
Oh my God, look at that. We have 2 subscribers.
Let's go. Let's go.
And it's me and you.
Let's go.
Oh, see that? You promote it one time and you double your subscriber count.
That's true.
Fucking
Okay.
Amazing.
I will say, if our podcast fails, it's not because of poor content. It's because of my lack of ability to market it. That's 100% true. Undoubtedly.
Yeah, because our content is fucking great. Have you heard some of these baseball guys talk on their podcast? Not good.
Yeah, I mean, where else can you get guys that are going to talk about Lord of the Rings as a complete non sequitur for the first 10 minutes of the podcast and just literally forget
podcast.
Literally forget that this literally forget that they're a Mariners podcast. Like, wait, we're supposed to be talking about the Mariners? What? All right.
Hey, I will say before we get into this, when we previously did these tier lists, we had a fifth column for like a not enough information about them.
Do you want an incomplete column?
Again?
I think we're gonna be good because this is just preseason rankings. I think it's in the middle of the season we do the incomplete or like traded or kicked off the team or whatever like that because we haven't seen them play. But this is all predictive, right? So we're predicting. Okay. We're predicting. It's kind of like a combination of like we're predicting the season / where we kind of feel like they are as like a starting point.
Okay, so I have another question for you before we go into this then. Are we ranking them based off of their what we think their performance will be or how much we like them?
Based off of performance.
Okay.
Like I mean, like shouldn't have anything to do with it other than like I don't know.
So we're basically so what we're doing here for the fans and not me because obviously I know what's going on is we're ranking these guys based off like who we think are the best players in the team and who's going to succeed this year and who's going to fail.
Yes. Okay. It's predictive.
Okay.
All right. You good?
Yes.
I'm also gonna keep us up to date here with where we ended them last year. Just kind of see if we think any guys are going to improve or fall behind where we had them.
Do you have a screenshot? Do you want to throw it into the Discord? So I can see?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay. Man, I'm getting this ready right now, and I have a lot of these guys in the S tier. Probably
that's problematic. We need to like set some rules, being like we have 5 vetoes or whatever, like each. Because if you're gonna tell me that Justice Sheffield is gonna be S tier, I might have to just veto.
No.
Oh, you know what you're gonna do? Sheffield. You know what you're gonna do is you're gonna tell me that James Paxton is S tier. Oh god, wait, we'll get to it. Oh my god, I'm already angry.
Wait, how many vetoes are we getting?
Wait, you're making me angry. Let's get into it.
Now I need to know how many eggs I get to put in each basket.
As usual, we start with alphabetically, which means, as we have almost every single time, Braden Bishop, right off the top. Oh, poor Braden Bishop. I feel like we've already kind of, sent him up the river.
Yeah, we don't normally give up on a lot of guys here.
We don't. We are. I would say we are like the most positive Mariners podcast out there.
Yeah.
That's like our shtick. That's our shtick. Is we're naively optimistic.
So I like Braden, and I want him to succeed. So I'm gonna put him in the C column.
Great guy. Great Twitter follow. I think that's just too high.
Okay, well, you need to listen to me. You need to hear me out. First of all, he is a superhero name. What is a superhero name, you may ask? It's any name that has the first name and the last name that both start with the same letter. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Bruce Wayne, like Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not one there for you. I knew you were going to fucking say Bruce Wayne.
Oh, you must mean like Steve Rogers.
No, Peter Parker. Or
oh, you mean?
I don't know. You do. Oh, okay. Just keep going. Fucking.
Oh, do you mean like Tony Stark? Similar to Tony Stark? Or Clark Kent? That's a C and a K.
Okay, but it's close enough. Honestly, Clark Kent.
You want me to give you that one, huh?
It could be Clark with a K, Kent with a K.
It's not though. But it's not.
Could be.
But it's not.
Okay, but anyways, back to what I was saying.
Okay, superhero name, Braden Bishop. No.
And back to the rating.
Nick.
I want to put him in C because I think he has a shot of making the team anyways because Kalu's hurt right now. And I think given the opportunity that he will finally have some amount of like replacement level player success.
Nick, my friend. Okay, to be fair, he was actually a positive WAR player last year in very limited appearances, 30 at bats.
In six games.
He had
one game.
He had .01 WAR. No, he played a little bit more. He had 30 at bats. However, career, he's a 128 batting average hitter, and a 185 on base percentage guy.
Okay, well, this isn't like the hill I want to die on.
In spring training, Nick, we both love Braden Bishop, but in spring training, he's hit 150, which, whatever. Take that for what it will.
That's an improvement.
He's projected. The optimistic projections for him this year is that he goes 214. I don't know where they're actually getting 7 home runs from. He's projected to have 7 home runs. What?
Okay.
I mean, the reality is we love Braden, but he's a D tier. It just, I'm sorry, he's not. If he's going to be a major leaguer, he's going to be like Chris Taylor, who goes somewhere and turns into a completely different player. It's not going to be with the Seattle Mariners.
Oh, okay. Well, Braden, if you're listening, I love you, and I hope you find success on a different team.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. It's just not going to work out here. It's unfortunate. I hate it. It's gross. It's gross of me to say this, but it's just not that our outfield is too deep, organizationally, and it's just not going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes up here and hits 250 with 7 home runs, and we love him. But yeah, that's that. That's that.
Not really.
Okay, next up, another superhero name for you, Brandon.
Another BB, Braden Bishop, Brandon Brennan. Sorry,
Brandon Brennan. We like Brandon Brennan.
Yeah, I actually didn't know he was still on the team. I actually thought he got traded away with Austin Adams and Anthony. Not Swarzak. That's not right. Wow, how am I? Dan Altavilla, Anthony. Where did I get Anthony from?
Oh, Altavilla, yeah. No, so, yeah, he, career, not too bad. He's a positive WAR player, 0.5 WAR player throughout his career, 4.45 ERA. No saves to his name yet, but he was hurt a lot last year, but when he came back, he was solid in the 7 innings that he pitched. In the 5 games he played, 3.6 ERA. Tough to say. So far in spring training, only got in a couple games. He's going to be starting the year at the minor level. I'm assuming with the rate that the Mariners have gone through, and this is just going to apply to all of our relief pitchers. That's kind of why we're just going to assume that they're going to all see a decent amount of time at the major league level, because I think we're going to be moving around a lot in that regard, right? Especially with how much our bullpen is projected to struggle this year. We expect to see some of these guys a lot up and down, right? If I'm looking at the projections for him, he's projected to have like a 4.6 ERA, projected to, have a whip of 1.35. Man, I like him, so I kind of wanted to put him in B, but I guess maybe he's a C. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's really up to him. I think the C guys are the guys who you don't really expect to impress you this year. And I don't really expect him to impress me this year. Okay, looking back at what we've had in the past is that we had him actually as a C, so. Yeah, I think C is fine. Okay. And also, to go back, we ended the year on Braden Bishop at a D level as well, so. No movement on those boys. Okay. Well, okay. So this is kind of why I talked about having the incomplete thing here, because I was like, we really only saw like 5 innings from him last year. Yeah, we didn't see a lot from him at all in 2020. Yeah, sorry, we barely saw him in 2019. No, he played 44 games in 2019. Brendan Brennan. Yeah, I guess I'm a little jaded because he got hurt and then he missed like half the season. And
Yeah,
he could have really had like 80 or 90 games. But if we're expecting him to get into like 80 games, shouldn't he be like pretty good? Shouldn't we put him in the B tier?
He's not going to pitch 80 games. No way.
You don't think that our like solid core group of dude, our relievers are going to see so much use this year with the 6-man rotation and everybody getting less time.
Yeah, I still think he's going to be up and down. I think with all of our relievers, they're going to be up and down, up and down. I don't think he's going to be in the Mariners, the majors enough to play that many games.
Okay.
I'm thinking, I'm thinking like 50 innings pitched, 50 to 55, like 50 games or so. I think C is appropriate, but I think he could definitely be a riser as things go on. Because looking at our bullpen, some of these guys are going to have to step up, and I would say definitely. that Brendan Brennan is one of the guys that we know that has that possibility.
That can step up.
To rise to the B level. So we'll start at C, keep him there, see where it goes.
Yeah.
JP Crawford. Tough spring for JP.
Really tough spring.
Definitely one of the most disappointing guys at spring training, especially after he's kind of tried to change his game. And we've spent a lot of time talking about JP Crawford.
Oh my God!
And last year, even this spring already, last year we ended him at A tier, which might have been more my doing than yours.
No, I was super high on JP.
Oh, were you? Okay.
You. Yeah.
I'm looking down the list, and we ended Evan at an A tier, which is definitely my doing.
Yeah, I think you had to talk me into that one, but I was like, sure, I like Evan. He's gonna get a Gold Glove. I don't know.
He did.
I kind of think if you expect someone to get a Gold Glove, they're probably around an A-tier player, no matter what they did offensively.
That's probably true. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves though.
So I'm gonna I kind of want to put JP in the B tier.
I'm okay with that. Actually, I mean, because we've obviously seen some regression. We're concerned from what we've seen. I mean, we haven't seen so many games because so few of them have been televised. But we're worried about his swing in particular, right?
Yep.
I'm assuming the defense is still going to be there.
Oh, me too. I doubt he's lost a beat on his defense.
This is one of the guys that we're like worried about, right? Like this is a concerning B, right?
Yeah, at this point, watching him this spring, this is probably an overreaction. But what is spring training for other than to overreact?
That's what it's here for.
But I'm worried. I almost kind of think about him now as like a Shed Long guy who I'm like, fuck, is he missing his opportunity to make himself an everyday guy on this roster?
Yeah.
But again, we haven't even seen one we haven't seen one real game yet. So.
I mean, especially with the fact like this infield could get a little tight for playing time between Siegs, Ty France, Dylan Moore, Evan White, Haggerty, Marmolejos. Like, if he's not on his game, if he doesn't get himself into form, it could be tight. Even Shed Long when he's healthy again, right?
Yeah. Well, I do think that
could be tight. So playing time.
The Mariners infield is pretty good, but they don't really have a standout defender to put at shortstop. So if his bat falls behind, he might get a little more time to set in and figure it out. Just because
look give him time. For sure.
Don't really have the replacement shortstop ready to replace him at this point, right?
That's probably true. All right,
so
next relief pitcher Sam. Is it I don't know if I've ever heard his name pronounced. Delaplane. Okay, cool. I don't know if I'd ever heard his name pronounced. That's cool though.
This guy had a really good minor league season in 2019, and then I don't think he got a chance in 2020 because the Mariners didn't want to lose their playing time on a lot of these guys.
Right.
So I mean, I think he sounds pretty good.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if that means anything, but I've heard good things. It makes me feel comfortable putting him at. All right, I think I lost you. Oh, you're talking, but... Oh, God. Oh, gee willikers. Are you there, Nick? Oh. you there? Nick? Oh, there's no chance of editing this out unless it takes way too long. I heard something. I heard noise. Oh, God. Okay. Dude, your voice sounds so much better now, too. And now you're back. I think... Yeah, now you're back on the original... Okay. Yeah, your voice sounds so much better. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I don't know what happened there, but like, so I disconnected and I thought I lost you, and then you were like, oh, you can't hear me. So I disconnected from Discord, reconnected, and then Discord couldn't find my microphone anymore. So I don't know.
Okay. All right, let's keep going. I'm not editing this. I'm not editing any of this out.
Cool, good. That's how we do it here.
Besides, if we didn't have technical issues during the tier list, it wouldn't be the Corner of Edgar and Dave podcast.
Yeah, it wouldn't be it's not a real tier list.
It would not
fuck up the quality.
It would not be the Corner Pod tier list if we didn't have trouble with the tier list. All right. As I was saying, Sam Delphine, do we feel comfortable at C tier?
Yeah, man. I think this is another guy in the bullpen that we could be moving up or down based off of performance. I don't know if he's even starting the year with the club. But I'm still.
No, he's not. Same with Brandon Brennan. They're both starting at the minors.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, put him in C then.
All right, cool. Next up, Justin Dunn, the right-handed, tall, big-bootied righty. I mean, definitely has to be competing with Seager for biggest tank.
Justin Dunn's not the big bun guy. It's No, I wish he was, but he's not. He's not the big booty boy. No,
yes, he does. He's dragging a wagon. Don't lie.
No. It's fucking Sheffield that's got the big tuchus.
You pay attention next time. What's it probably gonna be on Monday, Sunday or Monday. Pay attention to Justin Dunn's booty. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right.
I mean, if I see something I like, I'll get on the Twitter, screenshot something, get on the Twitter, and post a Justin Buns photo.
All right, Justin Dunn. Let's see his spring training outings: 5.7 ERA. Started 3 games, 11 innings pitched in spring training. He had a solid year last year for the M's.
He also got the sixth spot in the rotation.
Yeah. So
he is in the rotation.
We're gonna be seeing him play. He 4.3 or 4.1 career ERA.
I mean, he's got really good strikeout stuff. Obviously, the control is what we're worried about. I want to put him in the B though, because I think he's gonna rack up a lot of Ks here.
Let's see. We left him in B to end last year, so I don't hate that.
I see him as kind of like this is a stretch, and I know it's a stretch, but kind of like a Dilson Lamet kind of guy who's going to strike out a lot of dudes and occasionally
Danielson.
Then is it not Okay, I don't care.
I don't know either. Yeah, I can see that comp. I can see that comp.
Yeah, strike out a lot of dudes and then occasionally throw the ball into the fucking stands. And then you're like, huh, how does he strike out all these dudes with that kind of control?
That's weird.
But, yeah.
Okay, or high on Justin Dunn. I like that. I'm not going to argue that at all.
I mean, that's a good sign, though, that you want to put the number 6 starter on in the B tier. That's hype.
Yeah, so the next guy, Aaron Fletcher. Kind of a weird guy for me. So, obviously, he's a lefty, which kind of puts him at a premium for us because we are short on lefties. It's basically him and Anthony Misowitz. We're short on lefties out of the bullpen. So he's had a good spring training in his 6.2 innings pitched. He's only given up 1 run and 2 walks, 12 strikeouts. So he's almost averaging 2 strikeouts an inning in spring training. His opponent quality has not been bad. However, that being said, his first year with the Mariners was last year. His first year in Major League Baseball was last year, and it was disastrous. He ended the year with an ERA north of 12 in 6 games and only 4 1/3 innings pitched. I'm almost certain if I look back, we definitely wrote him off last year. Let's see.
So I've kind of flipped the script on him a little bit.
Yeah, we put him in incomplete. We put him in incomplete. We were trying to be nice. And we put him in incomplete last year, but we probably would have put him as a D if we had to.
I gotta be honest with you here. I like Scott Service. I'm just gonna come out and say it. He should be on this tier list because I like Scott Service, and I want to put him in at least the A tier. But whoever Scott Service likes, I like. And
Okay.
Scott Service likes Aaron Fletcher.
Okay.
So I want to put him in the B tier.
Wow.
Just because Scott Service says that he's real, and I'm gonna quote him here, really good.
Okay, this is a lot of faith on Scotty Boy and spring training results. I'm not going to argue with you. If you sold me, Nick. I want to tell you right now, I'm all on the Aaron Fletcher train. I'm ready to go. Give me some Aaron Fletcher right now. Let's do this thing.
Give me some Aaron Fletcher, especially because we need these lefties in the bullpen to be good.
Yeah, that's true. We know Mitsowitz is good too, though. We know he's good.
That's true.
So
that's true.
All right.
You're lying to yourself if you don't think I'm putting Mezowicz in at least the B.
All right, give me one slice of Aaron Fletcher. Let's do this. I'm hungry.
All right, where do you want to put Chris Flexen, the guy that I know you don't like?
Oh, God. I mean, I just don't like anything I've seen. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. Okay, let's just look at his spring training. ERA of 5. I can live with that.
Okay.
16 innings pitched. He's pitched more than anyone else for the Mariners this spring training. Giving up, 10 runs, 17 strikeouts. I want to say tied with Paxton for most strikeouts in spring training.
Sounds right.
Okay, let's see here. We got to look at the career stats. I mean, he's honestly a bit of an unknown to me, right? Career-wise, a WAR of -2, career 3 wins, 11 losses, and a career ERA of 8. I find it very hard to put him anywhere above a D. Just if past his prologue, I find it hard to put him anywhere above a D.
I think that's fucked up. And I think you're really undervaluing the stats that he accumulated in the KBO last year. If you remember, the KBO played a full fucking season. Okay?
I'm pretty sure his career stats include KBO on Baseball Reference.
You let me talk, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This dude went out into the KBO, a land that he has never lived in. He can't speak the fucking language at all, and went out and pitched a 3.15 in 100+ innings.
It actually says he has an ERA of 3.01.
Even better. I thought it was 3.15.
Baseball Reference has him at 3.01. 116. Yeah, in the KBO, playing for Doosan.
Yeah.
116 innings pitched. An ERA of 3.01. 132 strikeouts. This dude tore up the KBO last year.
That's what I'm saying. So if he doesn't come to the Mariners and absolutely throw fucking fire, I'm gonna be depressed. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay, his career stats do only count MLB. So at the MLB, in 3 seasons with the MLB, an ERA of 8.
Yes, that's what I assumed.
That was with the New York Mets. He actually his year with the New York Mets. He had an ERA of 12.
Yes, he did. But I will say, it's just disrespectful to this man after the 2020 season he had in the KBO to not at least put him in the C, and I want to say put him in the B.
Oh wow!
I think you will be surprised.
Oh wow! Dude, you can talk me into a C.
Dude, he's our number 3 starter. He's supposedly better than Justin Dunn, Justice Sheffield, and Yusei Kikuchi. And I would imagine that you are going to argue for at least 2 of those guys to be in B.
Well, you already put Dunn in B.
True. And now I want to put Chris Flex in there, too.
Oh my god, okay. This is purely predictive, everyone. This is purely predictive. If past history, this boy goes down here.
That's what we're here for. No, we're here for fucking yearly predictions. He's a B, bro. He's better than what we've seen this spring.
Okay.
Look,
This is me putting faith in you.
We're low on JP, and for some reason, I'm also high on Plexus.
If anyone laughs at us on Twitter, I'm going to point them straight to old Knickerbocker over here.
Fucking do it. You know what? We're not going to have anyone to deal with because nobody looks at our Twitter anyways.
That's true. That's very true. All right. Oh, the sad story of Jake Fraley. Up next.
You say sad story, but he's actually had a fucking really good spring after his first week. Like, his last 3 weeks of spring have just been him mashing the cover off the ball.
Okay, that's fair. That's completely fair.
And I will say he's probably made the roster. He's probably our fourth outfielder.
Let me see here.
I think he would probably
he is.
I think he would probably be our fourth outfielder, but he will start on the starting roster this year because K-Lou is currently injured.
Yeah, he's currently going to be on the major league roster. Yes.
So I think Jake Fraley. I think it's time. I think Jake Fraley is gonna finally do it. I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna swing the bat, and I think he's gonna do it well.
So you're thinking C tier?
I want to put him in B, dude.
Oh my god! You want to put him in the same tier as J.P. Crawford and Justin Dunn? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you Are you sure about this? Wait. Okay, let's revisit. Jake Fraley. Last year.
2020 stats.
Last year, Jake Fraley did not even make our end of the year tier list. So, okay.
But again, it's predictive.
Career stats, yes, but it's predictive, but you have to consider the past. You have to consider the past when you're making your predictions, Nick. You can't just be the most optimistic.
No, man. These are the boys. I have optimism for them.
Let's see. Specifically last year, in 26 plate appearances, so not a lot, he hit 154, and 241 on base percentage. His career, he's negative WAR for his career. And again, in only 66 plate appearances, so take that as you will. 152 batting average with a 200 on base percentage. One out of every 5 trips to the plate, he makes 1 out of every 5 times he steps up to the plate and does whatever his ridiculous probably warm up move is, because they all have them. He gets on base 1 out of 5 times. That's what I was leading up to that, but
we haven't
burnt out
Jake Fraley yet, and I think he's here, and he's gonna settle in, and he's gonna start swinging the bat, and I think he's gonna start looking like a Ben Gamble type of guy to you.
Okay, before I put him in the B tier, I just want to read to you his projections according to Baseball Reference.
Bro, fuck Baseball Reference projections. They literally are so lame.
Batting average of 225, on base percentage of 300. Apparently, he's supposed to match Braden Bishop in home runs with 7 home runs.
No, man, this guy has more power and a better bat than Braden Bishop.
That's not the kind of faith that Baseball Reference has in him.
Well, I don't care about Baseball Reference. They're wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I said it.
I just wanted to read this. I wanted to read this out loud simply before we put him in the B tier. I just wanted to have it read out loud, just for the record.
I'm just saying B for the boys. Put him in B.
Okay. Next up, this one's gonna be a lot more comfortable for us. Ty France. Ooh la la.
I want to put him in an S tier. I think he's so good.
Ty France.
I think that means you also want to put him in S.
Bam! Oh yeah, Ty France. I love Ty France. I mean, he's not hitting 400 anymore. In spring training. In spring training, he's hitting 320, 327 in spring training. I mean, the dude has been has done nothing but mash at every level of baseball he's ever played at. They have him. This is actually insulting. His projections for this year, they have him projected as a 256 batting average, 328
so
on
low.
base percentage, hitting 14 home runs.
That's unbelievable.
Only 19 doubles. I distinctly remember Mr. France as a double machine. Am I crazy? I guess he only had, let's see, he had 4 in spring training. What did he have last year? He had 9 total doubles last year.
Dude, I think.
Oh no, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of Luis Torrens hit a bunch of doubles, but that's besides the point. I mean, are we crazy?
No, I think
At S tiering Ty France?
I would be surprised if the Seattle organization at this point doesn't see Ty France as the third baseman of our future. He's that good.
That's fair.
At this point, he looks that good. Obviously, he has this 2021 season to like show us who he is, what he's gonna do, and like make a name for himself. But I think he's gonna do it really well.
Yeah,
I want to put him in the F tier.
Last year, in only 141 at bats, he already got himself a WAR of 1. 306 batting, 305 batting average last year. All right, S tier for Ty France.
I mean, he's not that but
Croissant.
Get there, right?
That's true. All right, next up, the Gerber baby, Joey Gerber.
I know you really like Joey Gerber.
I do like Joey Gerber. I'm pretty sure he's had an incredibly mediocre spring training. To mediocre to bad spring training.
Bro, every time I see him pitch, my brain screams Tommy John surgery.
He had a 4 ERA last year in 15 innings pitched. I like Joey Gerber.
Sure.
What are his projections? 4.3 ERA.
That's bad.
46. Not for a reliever, that's fine. You'll take that.
Okay.
46 innings pitched. You'll take it. It's fine. I don't know. C tier? Where did we put him last year?
I honestly thought you were about to argue B as well. B for the
I'm
boys.
so much more conservative than you are. The Gerber.
Yes,
we put him in B tier last year.
See, that's why I thought you were going back for B for the boys.
I'm just fine. You know what? Like I think his questionable spring training is enough to, I would say he was fringe B tier last year, so I think it's enough for him to, take a seat, step down a little bit.
That's fine.
All right.
I don't really have anything else to add.
Okay, sounds good. Another reliever, Ken Giles, with a G.
So this is one that, again, incomplete, because we can't put him on this because we haven't seen him play as a Mariner, and we will not see him play as a Mariner in 2021. So I don't even want to include him on this list.
Well, it's too late. He's on the list.
Nope.
It already happened, though.
Nope.
I mean, we know he's a good pitcher, right?
Yeah, but
he's born in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
He's playing baseball in the year 2021. What, are we judging him based off of his, recovery? Because if so, we're going to have to put him in the S tier because we think he's just going to fully recover.
Let's go. I just in the mediocre C tier, middle of the road.
But that's so disrespectful for the guy who's
Is it?
Clear closer of our future.
I mean, as a career MLB player, he has a 4.5 ERA, which you said is bad.
Okay, but his most recent years, he's looked fucking amazing. I will say last year wasn't super great when he was very clearly hurt, but they were having him go in anyways.
Let's see. 2020 he was a 2.5 ERA, 2.25. 2019 6.35. I mean, he has a lot. I feel like I know this guy's name. He has a lot fewer MLB games. He's only played in 52 Major League Baseball games. This dude is just is he always hurt or what's the deal with him?
I don't know. Put him wherever you want. I don't want to talk about him.
C tier, completely middle of the road. Okay, Marco Gonzalez. This is a clear S tier for me.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I mean, Marco is just my favorite player on the Mariners, best personality on the Mariners right now.
I mean, if you don't want to put your team's ace in the S tier for your own team rankings, then you shouldn't be watching baseball because you clearly don't like that team's rotation.
I mean, Marco's spring training stats literally mean nothing to me. He's a career 7.7 WAR guy. He had a 1.5 WAR last year. He had an ERA of 3.1. Like, Marco's a stud. What are his projections for this year? Oh man, they have him at a 3.9. This is just disrespectful. They have him at a 3.9 ERA. With a WHIP of 1.23.
No,
this
man,
is gross.
I would expect him to be a little closer to 3 than 4. Maybe somewhere in the middle of 3.
I mean, the dude went 7-2 last year.
He's really good.
Yeah, dude went 7-2 with a 3.1 ERA. Like,
really good.
A WHIP under 1. He had a WHIP under 1 last year. This is disrespectful by these projections. What the heck? Let's fight. Who wants to...
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about Marco so much this year. I think Marco is just, to me, he's a complete package when it comes to a pitcher. Yeah. He's rock steady, unflappable, great pitches. He's like, he's not going to blow anyone away, but he's a crafty lefty, and everyone loves a good crafty lefty. And he gets the job done. He just does. Yeah. Like, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. He just gets the job done. He just
on the mound.
He just goes out there and just gets the job done. So S tier, Marco, love you, boy.
Yep. Next player.
Kendall Graveman.
I want to put him in the A tier.
Oh?
I think he's like a potential closer for our team. And if you don't think your potential closer is in the A tier, you think your bullpen sucks.
I do think our bullpen sucks, Nick. I do think our bullpen sucks.
I mean, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's probably middle of the pack. Look, there's some really bad bullpens out there.
Let's see. Not the world's greatest spring training, but whatever. Projecting him for a 5 ERA. 1.3 WHIP.
Really like Kendall Graveman.
I think you do. I mean,
well, you have to tell me where you want to put him.
I think he's just. Let's see. What did we do last year? Did we give him incomplete last year?
Don't put him in C. Don't put him in C.
I wasn't gonna put him in C.
At least put him in B with the boys.
I was thinking. I was gonna say B. Did we not even? We put Fraley in incomplete last year. Us rude boys. I don't even think we put him on the chart last year. What the heck is wrong with us? Oh, there we put him in C tier last year.
Oh no.
C tier. Oh, okay.
B for the
B
boys.
tier. We'll be optimistic on him. You know what? I'm gonna give you your belief in Kendall Graveman, and we'll say he's gonna improve from what we've felt from him last year. I pray to God that he stays healthy. I really do. Kendall Graveman, when I think about the guys on this team, he's one of the guys I think about, and I'm just like, man, I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah, me too.
So that's, blessed in the B tier.
All right, who's up next?
Sam Haggerty. Great for us last year in a very short stint.
Yeah, too bad he got hurt, right?
Yeah. Let's see. This year, spring training, pretty mediocre to bad spring training.
I like him. I want to put him in B.
Okay. Any reasoning for that aside from I like him?
I mean, he had a pretty good 2020, and if his bat looks anything similar to what he did with us last year, then he will be an everyday player for our club at the end of the year.
Wow. I mean, where though? Like at shortstop?
I mean, maybe if JP doesn't work out at short, maybe at second if they move Demo around or make him the designated utility guy. I don't know, but I think if Sam Haggerty performs like he did last year, he will be on the club every day.
They're projecting him for a 2.46 batting average, 3.22 on base plus on base projection. You have to look at projections. We're literally projecting.
No, because Baseball Reference just fucking hates the Mariner. They do. They hate all of the bats. They literally think
you didn't even let me finish. You didn't even let me finish. I was gonna say, I think a 2.46 is perfectly acceptable for someone in the bottom third of the lineup. I like it. That's all I was gonna say.
Okay, but that's ridiculous because when he was playing with us last year, he was hitting in the 2-hole. He was really good last year.
I mean, he still only hit in his few plate appearances. He only hit 260 last year. No comment?
No comment.
Okay. I'm fine with B tier. If he hits 260, if he hits
Christian Yelich hit last year, because it's not good.
If he hits 260 and is in the bottom third of our lineup, I'll be incredibly happy. I'll be ecstatic with that.
I almost feel like last year means nothing when it comes to like
you're basing Sam Haggerty what he's going to do off of what he did last year. What do you mean last year means nothing?
No, I'm not. I'm basing that off of what I saw from him. But I'm not basing that off of his numbers. Because I think like average and OPS, or on-base percentage, just kind of almost means nothing. Because it's like watching someone's May and being like, they nailed it, give him an MVP, right?
I mean, they played 60 games. That's two months worth of games.
Okay, well, it's like watching May twice.
Oh, okay. All right, Mitch Haniger, next up.
Do we need to have this conversation, or can we just put him in the S tier and move on?
I was going to put him in the A tier.
Why would you do that?
Because we don't know.
He's the best player on the team.
No, he's not. Marco's the best player on the team.
No, Marco's the best player on the pitching staff.
No, Marco's the best player. Marco is the best baseball player in the Seattle Mariners baseball organization.
Who's number 2?
Marco on an off day.
No,
it's not Kyle Lewis.
No, it's Mitch Haniger. He's our everyday right fielder, and he's literally the only guy who's like probably going to hit over 290 or at the end of the year.
No, Ty France is going to have a better batting average than Mitch Haniger. For sure.
Right, that's actually true. I'll believe you there. But I still wouldn't be surprised if Mitch Haniger was hitting like 280, 290.
I mean, here's the thing. His spring training didn't wow me. I'm going to be honest.
Well, it wowed me. Mitch is back. Are you kidding me? Mitch is back, and he's ready to slam a fucking baseball into left field.
I mean, he hit 234 and hit 3 home runs. Like, yeah, he's going to hit home runs, but, like, he hit 234. That's not Mitch Haniger.
Yeah, well, guess what? We need someone to consistently drive guys in, and Mitch is that guy. Mitch has always been that guy. Mitch will continue to be that guy. He is our RBI guy.
Taylor Trammell had more RBIs than him in spring training.
Yeah, but Taylor Trammell had like the fucking spring training of the gods.
That's true. That's true. Them the facts. Them the facts. I feel more comfortable putting him in the A tier because we haven't seen him play in a year. Real baseball. Longer than that. It's been longer than a year.
Fuck you and fine. Put him in the A tier. I don't care anymore.
I very much believe that by the end of the year we'll be putting him in the S tier. I have that optimism for him. However, there's also the risk that by the end of the year he ends up way down here. So, I mean, I want to be conservative a little bit.
All right, put him in the A tier then.
All right.
I guess if A tier is your conservative vote, then that's pretty good for us.
Yeah, like I think A tier is really good. I think A tier is I'm happy to have a lot of people in the A tier. Just like I'm happy to put Jared Kelenic, our next person, in the A tier. Super happy to do that.
I love Jared Kelenic, and I wanted him to put. I see him as the rookie of the year.
Yes,
and no one is going to tell me otherwise.
I mean, it's gonna be tough because he's not gonna play a full season, but it depends on if a Rosarena lives up to the hype, right? Because we know that Jared Kelenic is going to live up to the hype. But if Randy Rosarena takes last year's postseason and turns it into a season, like it's going to be hard to beat him, right?
Yeah,
because he's already got the hype. He's already got the hype. Jared Kelenic, just like Kyle Lewis did last year, Jared Kelenic has to overcome the stigma of being a Seattle Mariner.
Okay.
And the fact that no one watches him play, right? The fact that no one watches the Seattle Mariners except you, me, and like 6 other people. You know, he has to overcome that. It's gonna be tough, but
you, me, 6 other people, 5 of them are on the broadcast team. Okay, but here's the thing. Look, you went through this 2021 offseason just like me.
Yep.
And you know the Mariners organization is garbage shithole dickheads, okay?
Yep.
They are going to play him every single game that they can. He will probably get through at least 120 games. And I think he will have a good shot.
No way. No, he won't. He will not play 120 games. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, he will not play 120 games.
Bro, the cutoff point is like... The cutoff point is being on the team for like 160 out of like the 180 days, right?
I don't think he's going to play that many games.
Whatever it is, I don't know.
I don't think he's going to play that many games.
I do.
He's going to miss. He's going to miss like 40 right off the bat. He's not going to be here until halfway through the second month.
Fuck, you're right. Because there's no minor league season for like the first month or something.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he won't be here until I'm trying to remember like when Chris Bryant came up. Like I'm pretty sure it was like 6 weeks into the season that they brought him up.
All right, fine. Put him in.
I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be the. I think that there's very much that we're gonna be putting him in the S tier at the end of the year. But I think for now, just because he's a somewhat unproven commodity, despite being our best prospect and a very clear, high hopes for a living, right? The reality is that I'm excited to be wrong.
So here's a question for you: do you think Jared Kelenic will still be a prospect next year?
No, he'll just be an everyday. He'll be an everyday left fielder.
No. But like going into the offseason, will he still be able to be ranked as a prospect?
No, because he'll either get first or second this year on the Rookie of the Year voting.
Okay. Oh, so you think he'll get at least 1 year of service time then? That's what you're saying.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I don't know the technical terms for it, but.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
hey,
I'm
fine.
excited. I mean, Jared Kelenic. It's hard to not be super excited about him, right?
I don't know. I want to put him in S because I'm so hyped, but I guess if you want to put him in S, I'm fine with that.
We have this conversation every time. We have to be conservative about this S here, man. We have
No,
we
put
have to be
them all in the
conservative.
S.
We have to be conservative about the S here.
If you like a guy, put him in S and die on that hill.
It's so hard. I just could feel the chain of me trying to hold you back slipping through my fingers, and it hurts. I've got rope burn. Okay, you say Kikuchi, the light of my life. You say.
Yeah. You bear the torch that is Yusei Kikuchi, so tell me where you want to put him.
Spring training god, if I might say so. Spring training god.
Hey, it's in a pretty good spring.
I believe in Yusei Kikuchi. And I believe that he is an A-tier player. I believe this is the year of Yusei, and I believe that, let's see, where did we put him last year? Oh my god.
C tier.
We did. I can't believe you let me do that.
I know. I'm pretty sure you put him in C, and I was arguing that he was a D tier player, but I was like, fuck you, whatever. You get your way again.
Are you going to let me put him in A? Is that it? You're not going to veto this or anything? This is just happening? Let's go.
You need to hear me out.
Cash money.
I've actually enjoyed what I saw from you said this preseason.
Okay.
And I want to be optimistic. So I was just going to let you choose where he was, and I was going to say, all right, next player.
I will be the first one to eat crow if we come here at the All-Star break and you say sucks. I will let you rip into me, and I will say nothing, and I will put him in the D tier. But for now,
cool. Because
it's time.
You should have been.
It's time to be
crow.
optimistic.
You should have been eating crow all last year, and you refused to. You died on that hill.
Yusei was getting screwed. Yusei got screwed last year. I'm not gonna let this slander.
Dude,
Yusei got hosed. Yusei was the most mistreated and unlucky player in baseball.
It's literally like you drilled your flag 2.5 miles deep into the hill of Yusei Kikuchi, and you're like, I'm not taking it out. It's too deep. Like, I have to keep it there.
Oh, shoot. Well, this is interesting. Okay, our next person is George Kirby. I definitely meant to put Logan Gilbert on here.
Yeah, I was like,
George Kirby instead.
I definitely looked at this and I was like, why is George Kirby on here?
I definitely meant to put Logan Gilbert. Got those slides mixed up. That's cool. So, what do you think about George Kirby?
I don't have anything to say about him.
Great, C tier. Cool.
I will say he has so far not walked a single person in the minor leagues.
That's pretty crazy, right? He's so good.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, he's so good.
Do you want to put him in B with the boys?
Yeah, B with the boys. Let's go. Okay. What do we think about? Since I totally forgot him, what do we think about Logan Gilbert?
Say that again.
I said since I totally forgot to make a thing for him, and we're not going to tier him, but here we are anyways. What do we think about Logan Gilbert?
Logan Gilbert. I don't think about him, so I didn't even notice.
What? One of our top pitching prospects. You know nothing for Logan Gilbert. Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's really good. I think he's.
Yeah, let's see. Baseball America pre-2021 have him as a 35th best prospect. Major League Baseball has him as a 33 best prospect. Baseball Prospectus has him at number 38. So.
Yeah, he's really good. I would have put him in B tier anyways because I really like him and I really like his hair.
So this George Kirby in B tier will signify both George Kirby and one Logan Gilbert, and we'll have that fixed next time maybe.
Cool, yeah.
All right.
Where do you want to put the Roy?
Kyle Lewis. This is a clear S tier for me.
Can't argue with that. Next player.
All right, let's go. I mean, we're going to talk about Kyle Lewis a lot this year, especially once he gets healthy. I don't see any drop off. I really don't. I believe in Kyle Lewis fully and completely. He's gonna mash home runs.
This is the dude who I'm like, I look at him like his predictions on Baseball Reference and the MLB.com beat writers, and I'm like, fuck you guys, you don't know shit about the Mariners. And then I'm like, I don't care about them anymore. Fuck them.
I mean, I'm excited because there's gonna be people on base in front of him. Ty France will be on base in front of him a lot. Mitch Haniger will be on base in front of him a lot. Jared Kelenic will be on base in front of him a lot. So That's fantastic. That's Kyle Lewis's dream right there.
And I also think Mitch Haniger will start as the leadoff hitter again. So Mitch will be right there as well.
The only thing I want to see from Kyle Lewis, and I know that this is not baseball nowadays, and I'm kind of sounding like an old man here, but all I want to see this year, the difference between, I think, Kyle Lewis finishing at the S tier, at the A tier, because we know what we're going to get from everything else. I believe he will do this, which is why I have him starting at the S tier. I want to see him cut down on strikeouts. I don't believe, maybe I know I'm an old man yelling at clouds. I do not believe in the current baseball launch angle, hack at everything, strike out a bunch, hit a lot of home runs. I don't believe in that. So I think
that's so silly because like if you were gonna
my position is silly.
Because if you're gonna call like the modern guys who mash and then strike out like kind of like not all there or like not complete players, then you're literally calling Mike Trout one of the best players of all time, or who will end his career probably as one of the best players of all time, unless he like falls off a cliff as a not very good player.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying all I want to see from Kyle Lewis, like A tier is really good. S tier is really good. Like I feel like you have a misunderstanding of how good A tier is. A tier is a superb player, like an all-star level player.
Oh yeah,
and all I want to see is I think that he'll be a better player if he strikes out less. I kind of just do. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong.
So the difference between S and A tier for me is A is kind of like the Ents like going into Isengard, right?
Okay. We're
so
doing
like
this
they're
again?
going in there, they're hyped, they're like they're destroy the team, like they're really good. But like the S guys are the fucking Titans in Attack on Titan who just show up and they clobber the fucking wall and they start eating people and they start like killing everybody. So yeah, I see all of the guys in our squad as Titans who are gonna fucking destroy the Attack on Titan universe.
That's as poetic as that is, I don't really know what to do with that.
Yeah,
it's not even like I don't know. I obviously know both those properties. I don't really know what to do with don't know what to do with that. Okay.
Look, okay, I got another way to say it. And I'm going to let you guys in. I'm going to let everybody who's been listening to these podcasts in on a fucking secret that I thought I was going to go to my grave with. So, and to preface this, I've been out of work for a long time. And in the off season, I have watched over 600 episodes of Naruto. Okay? So maybe the better comparison here is for me to say the S-tier players are all Hokage-level combat players. So we got S-tier Hokages, we got A-tier Jonins, we got B-tier Chunins, and C-tier Genins. Okay? I see a lot of players in our team as Hokage-level combat players.
Okay, the only problem with that though, in your own thing, is that there's a limited number of Hokages. If the Mariners are a village, they can only have one Hokage, meaning only one S tier. And if you're a professional baseball player, you're automatically a Jonin level. Like all the Jonins, they're the professionals. They've been doing this for a long time. They've made it through the minor systems. They've made it through the minor leagues, meaning that literally you can have one S tier, and everyone else is automatically A tier unless they're in the minors. Then they'd be in B tier, the Chunins or whatever.
No, you're wrong, and I'm gonna keep going with this Naruto thing. So, S tier is your Hokage level combat boys, and like I don't know if you've ever watched Naruto, but there's a lot of dudes that can beat up the Hokage alive at the same time.
I'm just saying, am I wrong though? Tell me if I'm wrong. Does each village only have one Hokage at a time?
Yes, but that's not...
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
The Hokage in their village isn't even the strongest dude there. This is literally becoming a fucking Naruto podcast really quickly. All right, let's move on from this analogy.
Let's just be real here. The S tiers are Aragorn. The A tiers are Legolas. The B tiers are Gimli. The C tiers are Sam, and the D tiers are Frodo. There we go.
Nah, dude, because the real problem here is that the S tier is Faramir, and nobody else in the whole fucking books can get into that tier.
All right.
S tier is Faramir, B tier is Aragorn, C tier is... B tier is everyone else in the Fellowship.
This has devolved into absolute futility. Okay, Shed Long Jr., our good boy. Shed.
I don't really know what to say about Shed.
C tier?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't like he hasn't played in spring at all, and he obviously had a really shitty 2020.
D tier?
I don't know.
Last year we put him in D. Last year we put him in D. Do we think that he'll outperform Braden Bishop?
I mean,
or on the same level?
I have to believe that.
C tier. I'm fine with C tier.
Look. You gotta let me get through this because I need to. It's only fair for Shed at this point. They let Shed play while injured last year. Why they did that, I have no fucking idea. But because they did that, I'm so fucking jaded about Shed Long that it's gonna take one hell of a fucking season for me to believe in him again.
Okay, that's fair.
So I think I'm going to go with C because D seems disrespectful and B seems way too optimistic.
Okay, that's fair. There we go. All right. Nick Margavicius. Great name. Great baseball name.
Well, I think the club sees him very similar, I want to say, to Justin Dunn. So I think he's B for the boys with Justin Dunn.
B for the boys. Let's see. Is he really a starting pitcher?
Yeah.
Like he's not going to start for us, though, is he? Only a couple games?
He might. He might in the future. You don't know what's going to happen with a rotation, like who we're going to trade, who we're going to get rid of.
He had a decent spring training.
Yeah, he also had a really good 2020 with us.
All right. B tier. Cool. Jose Marmolejos.
Do him dirty, because I know you're going to. Just get it over with.
No, I like Jose. He hit 300 in spring training. He had a good year. He had good stretches last year. I wouldn't say he had a good year, but he had good stretches. He hit 206 last year. He hit some cool home runs. He's got a great beard.
To hear you say that. He does have a great beard. I want to put him in B with the boys.
Wow, that's a stretch, Nick. He's just clearly a C tier average baseball player.
I don't know, man. He's got a really good bat. And I mean, you look at his projections for like what scouts and everything saw him as.
Okay, speaking of projections, you said the magic word.
Shut up. They saw his hit tool as like a 70 grade hit tool. Like he's a really good hitter.
All right, you did say the magic word projections. They're seeing 14 home runs, 229 batting average, 302 on base percentage. It's better than last year.
If you want to put him in C, I'm okay with that. I don't want to die on this hill.
Let's compare him. Okay. C tier, Brendan Brennan, Sam Delphine, Joey Gerber, Ken Giles, Shed Long. Or up with JP, Justin Fletcher, Chris Flexen, Fraley, Graveman. I just don't see, I don't think he fits in the tier with, Graveman, Fletcher, Dunn, Crawford. I don't think he fits in that tier.
Okay, put him in C then.
All right, there we go. Next one, relief pitcher, Kenyon Middleton.
Oh, I thought it was Keenan.
Oh, you're right. It's Keenan Middleton. What did I say?
Kenyon or something?
Oh, yeah, I definitely switched around the letters in his name. Yeah, you're right. My bad, Keenan. It's Keenan Middleton.
Yeah, it's very clearly a Y in there. Key.
Yep, Key. Keynan. Keenan. Keenan.
Where do you want to put him?
Keenan. Not a good spring training. Decent career numbers. Rough 2020. Decent career numbers. 3.5 career ERA. 5.25 last year in 13 games. It's tough to say what they're projecting him. 4.29. 1.357 whip. Spent his career so far with the Angels. Unfortunately, he never really made an impression with me in his time with the Angels. I'm trying to think back if there was ever a time that...
Yeah, I can't even recall watching him pitch.
I think that... Damn, his career numbers are not bad though. I'm trying to think of where he fits. I think he fits with these other relievers in the C tier. What do you think?
Okay, that's fine.
This might actually be disrespectful for his career numbers. It might be hinging too much on the fact that he kind of underperformed last year. So
yeah, I don't know.
In very short, he only pitched 12 innings last year too. So very short time with the big league ball club last year. But also, he pitched a lot in 2017 and then hasn't pitched much the last 3 years. Only a total of, he pitched 64 games in 2017 and then has only pitched 40 games in the next 3 years. So, I think I'm just good at the C tier. We'll hope to see more. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of want to put him in C and move on, especially because I'm looking at this chart and I see Braden Bishop down there in D by himself. And my heart bleeds for this man. Please put him in C. Please.
All right, next up is Wyatt Mills.
Oh my god, I'm being ignored.
What do you think about Wyatt Mills? Terrible spring. I mean, only pitched in 2 games. Only pitched 2 innings. He's gonna be. Let's see. He's gonna start the year in the minors. He's gonna start the year in the minors. Here's a problem I have with this. Nick, he pitched at Gonzaga.
I think Braden needs a friend.
This is the only problem I have with this is he pitched at Gonzaga. We can't do this to a Zag. On the day of our greatest success, we just made the Final Four again for the second time ever.
Really? I didn't know that. I don't really watch basketball.
I know. So, learn some history.
Okay.
Oh, he's a prepper too. Dude, he went to Gonzaga Prep. He went to our mom's high school.
Okay, fine. Put him wherever you want.
You're gonna do this to him? You're gonna do this to him, huh?
Put him in C and move on. I don't care.
Let's go. Okay.
I just feel so bad for Braden. I think he needs a friend, and he's not gonna get it in Mezowix.
Anthony Misowitz. I like Anthony Misowitz. I think he's a very appropriate B for the boys.
Yeah, B for the
or
boys.
higher?
And they're... No, let's put him up there with Aaron Fletcher.
Okay. Let's see. I want to figure out where did we have him last year. I think we ended him on B last year. Okay, very appropriate. I feel good about that. Yeah, I feel great about that.
All right, where do you want to put Montero? Another guy who's had a pretty crappy spring.
Yeah. We're gonna have to delve into. Let's see. I mean, 7 ERA this spring. He pitched a lot. Gave up, not a very good whip. 7 ERA. I will say this. To his credit, he faced the highest level of opponent quality of anyone on this team. So he's faced the most major league talent of anyone.
So I will say I do believe that Montero is projected to be one of our back-end guys in the bullpen.
Uh-huh.
So I think that means he's probably pretty decent.
C tier? B tier?
C tier for decent.
Okay. Yeah, middle of the road. Good. Solid.
Yeah.
Cool. Dylan Moore.
I want to put him in A tier, but I want to hear what you.
Oh, that's fine. I thought I was gonna have to fight you down from S tier. That's fantastic.
Have you seen my new Discord name? Why don't you go over and look at it really quick?
I saw it. You're a D Moore stan.
I stand for Dylan Moore.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm here for it. Okay, A tier.
What do we want to do with Tom?
I mean, Dylan Moore was fantastic last year. I hope to see more at S tier candidate, right?
Yeah.
All right. Tom Murphy. Tough to say. I mean, there's nothing really more we can say. We've talked a lot about Tom Murphy. I'm worried about his bat. Honestly, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I think it's going to be hard for him to live up to the hype, really.
Yeah, me too.
Of his year 2 years ago.
I do suspect him to get around 20 home runs, though, so that makes me want to put him in the B tier.
All right, I'm good with B tier as well. LJ Newsome. I don't know what it is. I just don't like LJ Newsome. Is that mean? I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see his name in the B tier with those boys there, so I want to put him in the C tier.
Let's see. Yeah, he had a 5.17 ERA of last year. He had like 1 or 2 great starts, and then he also had he just fell off after that, right? Like his first few runs out were really good, and then fell off the face of the earth. They're projecting him. He had a good spring, and obviously in 4 games, 2.7 ERA. He's projected though to be a 4.5er. Would you say C tier?
C tier.
Okay, cool. All right. Mr. James Paxton, Big Maple, returns to Seattle for his first ever Corner of Edgar and Dave tier list. I know he must be excited about this. Waiting on bated breath. Probably looking
waiting on the injury list in 2020. Oh!
Probably looking a little sad and a little scared as he does. He's just got sad eyes, and we love him for that.
That's really true. So I want to put him in the S tier.
That's not right.
Okay, well, I mean, he struck out 17 in 9 innings this spring. We've already talked about how the 6-man rotation is only going to help him.
Okay.
Again, struck out 17 in 9 innings.
Yeah, true.
He is the most recent Mariner to throw a no-hitter.
True.
Do I need to go any further, or is he just in the S tier?
Okay, I'll throw you a bone.
Cool.
Fair?
He's also amazing. I don't know. He's Taiwan Walker of the 2021 season.
Yes.
I love him for that.
Yes. There is very reminiscent, right? Very reminiscent.
Yes.
Again, the only thing about is I'm just concerned about the health. I'm concerned about Yankee Paxton. If I could only see in my mind eye Mariners Paxton, Big Maple, I'd agree with you, S tier. But unfortunately, when I close my eyes and look, I see Yankees Paxton, and I see sadness.
Well, he's not pitching in that little baby stadium anymore, is he? He's pitching in a real adult, grown-up West Coast stadium where he has had a lot of success in the past.
Yep.
I think he's going to be right at home in Mariners blue and teal.
Okay. Paxton S tier. Does he make it through the year with the team, or does he get traded?
If Paxton gets traded, I'll actually cry.
Oh.
And I might even do it on...
Paxton might cry too. Paxton might cry too if he gets traded.
Yeah.
Poor James. All right.
Poor James.
Cal Raleigh. I love Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, he's got a... speaking of good Mariners booties, he's got one hell of a tuchus.
I love Cal Raleigh. I mean, I think it's almost a shame, and it's not a shame that we have guys to talk about like Jared Kelenic and Evan White and Julio Rodriguez, because it's awesome to have those prospects. But is there any prospect that we have in our system that's more underrated than Cal Raleigh? I think it's very possible. It's very soon. We're talking about Tom Murphy, Luis Torrens. The reality is that they're backups in waiting for Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh is, to me, he's the truth. I believe in Cal Raleigh.
He did mash the fuck out of a ball this spring. I don't know if he did much more, because obviously I haven't been able to see a lot of games. But I did enjoy watching him play when he did play. I don't really want to put him any higher than C at this point, though.
Okay, that's fine. I was thinking B with the boys, but I'll live with C. I just want to say, just as of note, he's a catcher who got a triple in spring training. Just throwing it out there.
I would consider... I watched that, and I think I would remember that being more like a double with an error.
It was a triple. According to this Baseball Reference, it was a triple.
I guess they did score at a triple. So, whatever.
All right. Nick's biggest...
What do you want to do with the guy that almost fucking killed Austin Nola?
Nick's biggest love-hate relationship,
Yes.
Johan Ramirez.
Before we talk about this, I want to remind you very clearly that this man almost made sure that we didn't get that Ty France trade.
And Taylor Trammell.
We almost lost Ty France and Taylor Trammell just because this dude tried to break Austin Nola's hand.
True.
Where do you want to put him?
Okay. I want to tell you a story about a young man named Johan. When he was a young Mariner back in the early of 2020, he had a terrible spring training and a terrible, off season, and we placed him in the D tier. And then he came in, and in 16 games in 20 innings had an ERA of 2.61. Messed up on one pitch where he hit Austin Nola in the hand. It sucked. It was bad. Not good. Not going to ignore this fact. But he was a great reliever for us last year and honestly was electric to watch. And I conclude this TED Talk.
To watch.
It was electric. That's just a question of terminology. I conclude this TED Talk by reminding you that last year, we placed him in the B tier, and I think he should remain there. We cannot err again. We cannot err in the same way that we erred last year by putting him in the D tier preseason. We have to respect Johan and put him in the B tier.
And if this is me not talking about my good friend Austin Nola and his hand, he is not making the roster out of spring this year. Take that for what it is.
He wasn't going to out of spring last year. He wasn't going out of spring last year and ended up being one of our best.
Do you really want to put him with the boys?
Yeah.
He almost killed Nola.
Yeah, B for the boys.
Like Ty France and Taylor Trammell.
If I look at this and I look at the relievers in the B tier, Aaron Fletcher, Kendall Graveman, Nick Margavicius, Anthony Misowitz, he fits perfectly with them. He does not fit with Brandon Brennan, Sam Delafane, Joey Gerber, Ken Giles. Like he's Keenan, Middleton. I'll figure that out by the end of the year, I promise. Wyatt Mills, Rafael Montero. He's better than them. He's B tier. It's okay, Nick. He's B tier.
I'm hurt.
Learn to love again, Nick.
Much like Austin Nola's hand.
He can't hurt Austin Nola anymore. It's gonna be okay.
But he can still hurt Murph.
He'll only break Tom's other knee. Oh God. I should not have said that. I should not have put that into the universe.
What did you just will into the universe?
That's my bad. Okay. Johan, B tier. Alright, we're getting down the home stretch here. Julio Rodriguez is he fits with Jared, right? A tier?
Yeah, I love him. I love watching his fucking crazy fucking power.
Yeah. If you had to keep one and you just didn't have a choice, like you only got to keep one between Jared and Julio, who do you keep?
Oh, dude, you can't do that to me. I don't know.
That's so mean.
It's so mean, and it's something we're probably gonna have to talk about if we're still doing this show in 6 years. But
I hope not.
I hope not.
I hope we don't have to talk about it. I mean, I hope we're still doing the show, but I hope we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant too. I really hope we lock Jared into a contract so we can get both of them. But I don't know. I love them both, and I don't even want to think about it. So I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that question and move on.
I love that they're good friends. I love that they're all good friends. I love that all like the minor league guys are good friends. I appreciate that. It's nice. I don't know why I care about my professional baseball players being friends with each other, but for some strange reason I do. So
no, man, I do too. So like
there it is.
Everyone's like, Marco's not boring. What the heck? I kind of like that. That was fun. And when everyone was like, Kyle Seager's not overpaid. He's the best dad ever. And I was like, I agree with you guys.
Best dad ever. Okay, Julio, A tier. Damn, this kind of feels like so disrespectful to have guys like Kelenic and Julio over J.P. Crawford, but
yeah, well,
I don't know.
We should have had a better spring.
We're dicks. Okay. Casey Sadler, great spring training from Sadler here. Not a great career, a pretty bad 2020, pretty horrendous 2020.
So, I don't really care for this guy, but if I go back to an argument I made earlier, a guy that I really likes this guy. And that man is Scott Service.
Uh-huh.
The leader, the captain, my captain of the Seattle Mariners.
Uh-huh.
Likes this Casey Sadler guy. And I want to put him with the boys here strictly because of Service again.
Okay, I can respect that. B for the boys. Casey Sadler. My God. Okay. Well, that was easier than we thought it was going to be. Kyle Seager. Overpaid, clear D tier. Moving on.
Yeah, Braden Bishop needs a friend, huh?
Justice Sheffield. I'm just kidding. Kyle Seager is an A tier. He's
S tier?
Yeah, I'm sorry, S tier.
Okay, cool.
S tier. I said A tier, but I also put him in the S tier, so.
That's good, because I saw you put him there, but you said A tier, and I thought I was going to have to throw hands for a second.
Definitely, huh?
No. Seager's an S tier by far, and I will not even have the conversation otherwise.
All right,
he's amazing.
Cool. Yeah, we'll talk about Seager a lot this year. Justice Sheffield. Justice Sheffield finished for us as one of our 4 S tiers last year.
I think we should put him there again, huh?
Oh, wow. Really? Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
I have faith.
I thought I was gonna have to fight you to put him in the A column. So if you're gonna
No.
let me put him in the S column, then
He's easily an A for me.
Oh, okay, then let's just put him in S and call it a day.
Okay. All right. I believe next is a man that I think you and I can both agree is going to be Braden's friend in the D tier.
I mean, with that white glove, the umps may not even let him play. I still can't get over the white glove thing.
Eric Swanson, honestly, this is super insulting. I don't know. He had a good spring training. Obviously, didn't play that much in spring training. Let's see, 7 games, 6 innings pitched, 2.8 ERA. I feel like we just don't like him. He never performs well. Like last year, 12.91 ERA in 9 games. Barely got to play in the majors at all. 7.2 innings. Career WAR of negative 1.1. Last year he had a negative 0.8 WAR.
So the thing about him, for me, is that we don't like him, but everyone else in the media seems to. Like every single time he pitches, he gives up. Like I said, he gives up 5 runs, and they're like, "Jesus Christ, what an outing for Eric Swanson! Couldn't have imagined better in my dreams."
We don't have to be like everyone else, though. We can be different.
Yeah. Cool. Braden has a friend finally.
Okay, last year we did put him in C tier, but I'm fine. I'm fine putting him in D tier. I'm kind of over Eric Swanson.
Cool. All right, let's move on.
This is for completely different reasons. I'm sad about Braden, but I'm over Eric. 2 completely different reasons for being in the D tier.
I'm still sad about Braden, and if I have to see his face next to Eric, and I have to see Johan 2 tiers higher, I'm gonna go to bed and cry myself to sleep.
You might do that anyways.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, Domingo Tapia. Tapia?
I think so. I think you nailed it.
All right, cool.
Tapia, like the drink?
Yeah, so only 2 innings of spring training pitching. I believe he is going to be starting on the Major League roster. He is.
Yeah, I think he's projected to be one of our back-end guys as well.
Really? He's only ever pitched 4 innings in Major League Baseball.
Oh, interesting.
Ever. And that would be last year with Boston. 4 innings, 5 games, 2.08 ERA. 4 strikeouts in 4 innings.
So I'm going to let you put him wherever you want to put him, and we can move on to one then.
I feel optimistic. I feel like a B tier is appropriate.
Oh, okay, sure. Do you have any reasoning, or are you just kind of over this game?
No, I feel optimistic. I feel like he's, small sample size, but he hasn't not historically been a guy that's given up runs. So Here we are. B tier.
Okay.
Okay, Juan Then. Another relief pitcher.
No, I'm pretty sure Juan Then's a starting pitcher. But I didn't think he had a chance to make the rotation this year, so they might put him in the bullpen. But
Why can't...
I don't know.
I don't know why I can't even find him on Baseball Reference.
Huh. Maybe Juan Then isn't real.
Wait, we have a person that doesn't really exist on our team?
Yeah, and we have a picture of him and everything.
Wow. Oh, okay. Let's see. Juan Then is... Where is he? Yeah, he's starting off in the minors. Let's see. He only pitched as high as West Virginia as A-ball last year. Pitched rookie ball over the summer. Only 1 game though. He is a starting pitcher. You're right.
I only know that because of the show. I've traded him away for a couple years in a row now.
Wow, that's rough.
I mean, I don't really know why, but he's like a B overall prospect in that game. but he's like only like overall 55. So I'm like, that's never gonna work out. 55's never work out. Just trade him more. Who cares?
Oh, I think he came in the Justice Sheffield trade.
Sure, I believe you. I guess.
C tier? Because
Sure.
I don't know what else to do?
Sure.
Cool. All right. Luis Torrens. Great. Thanks. Thanks for the input.
Sorry, I was looking up Wonstan's history. I don't know what to do with Luis Torrens.
I don't either.
He hasn't had a good spring at all.
I loved him last year, though.
Yeah, I liked him last year, but maybe no. Let's just put him with the boys and just figure it out in the mid-year thing.
That's where Tom is, right? I see them as
Yeah.
equal. I see them as equal, completely interchangeable. Happy to have him on the team. I think he's actually probably going to be the better catcher than Tom Murphy. That's my prediction.
You hate Murph. You hate him.
That's just not true. Okay, I think this is a tough one. Taylor Trammell.
This is going to be a really tough one because, like we said earlier, this is the fucking king of spring. Right?
It is. This is the king of spring. Spring MVP.
Where do you want to put him?
I was just gonna say A tier because I just didn't know if I was gonna have to fight you down from S because I know you love your small sample sizes.
One, go fuck yourself. Two, I also wanted to put him in A tier.
Okay. He hit 311, 3 home runs, struck out 17 times.
And
Club leader for strikeouts next to Sam Haggerty and Jake Fraley.
And when he got told he was going to make the roster, he cried. And I do like a man who can cry.
I do. A tier for the tiers.
Cool. A tier. The tiers.
All right. Will Vest. This is rough. When we get to the end of this thing and it's guys that we barely know anything about, this is rough. Will Vest had a 5.91 ERA, same as Kendall Graveman in spring training. Pitched 10.2 innings, gave up 7 runs, gave up 2 homers. Basically, he had the exact same stat line as Kendall Graveman in spring training. Look at that.
Yeah,
he is.
All I know about him is he's a Rule 5 pick. So he has to be on the roster all year, otherwise he goes back to Cincinnati, I believe.
Wow. On Baseball Reference, positions: relief pitcher, shortstop, and left fielder.
Interesting.
Went to Stephen F. Austin. Stalling for time. Let's see.
Well, I mean, I guess if this JP Crawford thing doesn't work, we can just have him like pitch, and then he comes out and replaces JP. Like,
doesn't have anything from 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
He's pitched as high as AAA. Oh, dude, I don't feel good for this guy.
Oh, he goes back to Detroit, not Cincinnati. I don't know.
I don't feel good for him. He's gonna have to spend the whole year, and he's only ever pitched like 3 games, 6 innings at the AAA level.
Yep.
And he's gonna have to all of a sudden become a Major League Baseball pitcher.
Yep.
I'm not feeling good for him, dude.
Well, if I could roll you back to 2020, our Rule 5 draft pick for 2020 was Yohan Ramirez.
He was
Who worked
fantastic.
He has some good numbers. I'll give him that. So I was thinking we put Will Vest in the C tier and then move on.
Okay. C tier,
Cool.
Will Vest. Have fun.
Cool.
Donovan Walton. I think this might be the second hardest guy for me to place behind the guy that comes next.
I really like Donnie Walton.
I do too, but like I don't think that like I don't think I can put him in a decent tier if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. He hit 200 in spring training. Oh, let's see. He last year in 13 at bats, 154, 214 on base percentage. For his career, he only has 29 total career at bats.
So,
C tier.
if I could summarize Donnie Walton really quickly for you, I see him as similar to Sam Haggerty, except for he's a couple steps behind him. But
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's like if I envision all the scenarios that I think he could be on the major league roster maybe in a year or two, I only really see him as like the fifth infielder.
I would be surprised if we see much of him this year at the majors.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seen him at the majors before.
Barely.
He never really impressed from what we saw. I'm okay with putting him at C.
I worry. I'm not going to put him at D tier. He has D tier written all over him for me, though.
Oh, that's too. I think it's way too early to say that.
Yes, I agree. But so he's going to C tier for now, but I kind of feel like he's looking at Braden Bishop's career and is like, that might be me.
I think if you say that about Donnie or Donovan, it's more fair to say that about Fraley. But I don't see that from Fraley.
That's true.
Like,
we're just
see that from Donnie yet either.
We're just gambling high on Fraley this year.
We are. No, okay. I'm gambling high on Fraley.
The last person, Evan White. we put him in A tier last year.
Yeah, man, we like him. You got a Gold Glove.
Okay, you're fine with that. We don't have to talk ourselves out of it.
Oh, you have to I think I want to put him there, but you still have to talk me into it because I like Evan. I like the way the ball fucking scorches off of his bat. I really like his glove, obviously. I'm sorry, but my heart still tells me B. But if you want to talk me into A, I will not be let down.
Here's the unfortunate thing. I don't think I can do it. I don't know how I can talk you into putting him at A tier. I don't have the evidence. The only thing I have is one golden trophy.
No, really? You're not gonna. You can't be like, but he mashes the ball. Have you seen his hard hit ratio? You don't have anything for me?
I'm scared. I'm legitimately scared, and I see Evan White, and I look at his face, and look at this picture. He has fear in his eyes because he's looking at himself, and he's like, "Am I Dustin Ackley?"
No, it's not Dustin. Am I Mike Zunino?
Yeah, that's.
But I mean, if he is Mike Zunino, that means at least he gets to go to the World Series relatively soon, right?
I guess, yeah, or the Championship Series.
No, the Rays were in the World Series.
They were in the World Series last year? It was Dodgers versus Rays?
Am I living
people
in some
watch
sort
that?
Of
is that real?
Did you not watch the World Series last year?
I did. I just am I blocked out the fact Dodgers Rays battled for 6 games. The Rays were in the World Series last year?
You're kidding me, right? They had this whole scandal where they were like, oh, it's fucking rigged because Blake Snell was pitching a fucking gem, and then they were like, let's just fucking pull him. And the guy they immediately put in gave up 5, and they lost that game, and then they lost the World Series. You don't remember this? There's a whole scandal about it.
Oh my god! I think I blacked out 2020. I think I just missed it. I think I don't remember anything from 2020. Yeah, it was the Rays. I'm gonna be honest.
Really,
I can't remember a single thing about it.
You really made me question myself there. I was like, did I take the blue pill? What happened?
I'm almost certain that I watched all 6 games of the World Series, and I completely have forgotten that the Rays were in it.
Huh.
Oh my god, the Rays were in the World Series last year.
Yeah, what a weird year for baseball, huh?
I knew the Dodgers won. I remember this distinctly.
Remember we were talking about this Randy Arozarena guy?
Yeah, Randy Arozarena.
10 home runs in a month.
I thought he just had a good postseason. I didn't know he was in the World Series.
No,
oh my god, Jared Kelenic is screwed. It's all coming back to me now. Randy Arozarena single-handedly carried the Rays to the World Series. How is Jared Kelenic going to win a Rookie of the Year? It's not possible.
Well, I don't know if you've
seen Randy Arozarena is a god.
I don't know if you've seen his regular season numbers. I know people in baseball.com don't want to talk to you about, or MLB.com don't want to talk to you about this. Well, you do know this guy is a career 255 hitter, huh?
Huh. Dude,
And you do
I'm
know
still
this guy has only ever hit 15 home runs in the regular season, right?
I'm still struggling with the fact that I'm like, it's like how you have suppressed memories and like in television they just all come rushing back to you at like 1 second. That's literally what's happening to me right now. I don't know why, but
believe me, when I heard the Dodgers won the World Series, I wanted to block that out too. But unfortunately, that was a part of 2020. That did happen.
all right.
The world is coming to an end.
Here's our completed tier list. Another classically long episode of the Corner of Edgar and Dave podcast. Check us out. YouTube, Spotify, Audible, iTunes, Google Play Store. Not Google Play. Google.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
No, because we're not everywhere. I'm gonna be real. We're not everywhere. We're not that cool. Right. Our S tier, just to recap, let's recap the top 2 tiers. S tier, Ty France, Marco, Kyle Lewis, James Paxton, Siegs, and Sheffield. The A tier, Mitch Haniger, Jared Kelenic, Yusei Kikuchi, Dylan Moore, Julio Rodriguez, and Taylor Trammell. And then we gotta have the likes of, some of the starters in the B tier, J.P. Crawford, Justin Dunn, guys like, Jake Fraley we're a little higher on, Sam Haggerty, a lot of relief pitchers, both catchers, Tom Murphy and Luis Torrens in the B tier. And then Nick's favorite player, Johan Ramirez, in the B tier. So
I'm sorry, but I stand for Dylan Moore.
Did I skip Dylan Moore somewhere? Oh yeah, no. You do stand for him.
You said my favorite player was Johan Ramirez, and I won't even let that be a joke.
I will not let that slander be put on my name.
I'm just saying, at this point in time, there's an alternate universe out there, and it's out there. It's out there that like he breaks Noah's hand, and we don't get Ty France, Luis Torrens, or Taylor Trammell. All guys were rated pretty highly on this list.
Or Anthony Munoz too.
Yes, another guy who throws like 102 for fun, and like will be on this list pretty soon here.
Yep, pretty soon once he's healthy.
Yep.
All right, that's the tier list. Let's see how wrong we are. Baseball starts. Well, it's now in 1 day for me. It's now currently the 31st of March for me. So, Mariners baseball starts in 1 day for me. Less than 36 hours away.
Hey, you know what I learned going into
April? So.
I have to go back to work in April. We officially have an opening date, and it's the 23rd.
Awesome.
So my working hiatus and my Naruto obsession will probably be hitting the wayside.
You'll be good. You'll have time. You'll have plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Is there ever truly enough time for Naruto?
I'm gonna be honest though. I will miss that. I'm happy that you're able to go back to work, but I am gonna miss that. You're pretty much always available to me whenever I need you. So that's. It was a lot easier to work around someone who didn't have a schedule.
That's true. I was like, yeah, I think I can be awake at 4 o'clock. You're talking about the afternoon, man.
All right, I am beat. This was a fun one. I hope we're right on a lot of these, and I hope we're wrong on a bunch of them too.
Look, if we're right on a lot of these, we're a pretty good ball club.
That's true, huh? we love to shoot for the moon, don't we?
Dude, we shot for the moon and fucking back. Are you kidding me?
Alright.
For fun, I think it would be fun if you posted what my fan tier list looks like. So I'm going to put this in Discord for you really quick so that you can like put it on screen for the YouTube audience.
Alright.
Oh, is it not going to fucking... I have to take a screenshot of it, don't I?
I don't know.
Here you go. There you go. Look at all those guys in the S tier. It's fucking beautiful, right? That's a fucking World Series winning club right there, if I've ever seen one.
Let's see. Oh man, why won't it carry? Here we go. There we go. All right, let's see if I can get this on OBS. Let's see. Nick's got. Oh my God, your S tier is chock full.
Yeah.
Look at those bad boys.
Yeah.
You could have look at your D tier. You could have put more people in the D tier.
Yeah, but you were being so positive, and that's not normally you.
Yeah, what's wrong? What's wrong here? All right. I respect this list. This is Nick's list. It's trash. Just ignore it.
All right.
All right, here's the real list.
Okay.
Here's the real list. I appreciate everyone watching and listening tonight. We will see you next week as we talk about what happens in the world of Mariners baseball.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Lord of the Rings. We're not going to talk about Naruto. It's baseball. We're back on the crack.
We'll drastically diverge from baseball, I'm sure.
No, we're back on the crack, dude. It's
okay.
It's that six game a week grind coming up.
All right, let's go. Go M's.
Go M's. And go Dylan Moore. Woo!
There's a drive, deep right field, say goodbye. Hey, Lloyd, do some delivery for the truck.